Good morning. It's a bit of a chilly morning this morning. Right, so I'm just in Wellington outside the leisure centre, and today I'm going to be doing the two sections of stage 4 of the T50 trail. So the first section will take me around a circular walk around Wellington, and then the second part I'll go out to Horsehay and then carry on home.
Wellington is claimed to be the oldest market town in Shropshire. Its proximity to the Roman road would have certainly attracted traders. Its Saxon name, Weolea in Gayton, means a settlement by the temple in the grove, shows it predates the Christian Mercians who ruled here in the 6th century AD. It is recorded in the Domesday Book. In Norman times, houses were clustered around a market green in front of the church. In 1244, a market charter was granted by King Henry III, and the market was moved to the current market square. The present indoor market was built in 1856 when a group of businessmen bought the 1244 market rights from the lords of the manor, the Forrester family. You can still see the original narrow medieval streets, alleys and market squares in the present-day layout of the town, with buildings surviving from medieval, Georgian and Victorian times today. Many are listed for their architectural or historical value.
Okay, so this little lane that I'm going down is called Tentry Croft, and it was a medieval road, and the name derives from Tentercroft, a small holding with a field where cloth was stretched on wooden frames and held in place with tenterhooks. Right, so it's 9:45. I've just come off a housing estate and we're now at Dot Hill Nature Reserve, and it's lovely and quiet. Wow, so this is Dot Hill Pool. It's beautiful. What a lovely area. So, Dot Hill Nature Reserve. So I walked around the side of Dot Hill Pool and then T Lake, which on a notice board said was created when they dug a path, and then it was created, and then they used to do sculling and jousting on the water. Interesting, but it's lovely. We're just literally a couple of minutes out of Wellington town centre, which you can just hear in the background, but it's lovely. just going to say I don't know where I am, but I think I do. So we're heading towards Apley, I believe. And behind these trees, I think, is possibly Severn Hospice. So this area that we're in now is Apley, and those rather nice houses over there look like they've been built on an old farm or something. But we're going down here where it says Apley Home Farm. I'm just coming out of Apley Park now, going up these steps, and I will be joining onto part of the Silken Way that will take me down to Montgomery. So while we're still in Apley Woods, I'll give you a little bit of history about the place. So there have been castles in Apley Wood since 1270. Apley Castle was the site of 2 Civil War battles when different branches of the Charlton family fought on opposing sides to control it. It changed hands between Royalist and Parliament forces twice. Their coat of arms, the Charlton coat of arms, shows the Charlton family lion. Apley Castle, its portcullis and 2 fleur-de-lis represent its recapture by the Royalist forces. The Charlton family started to build a new castle in 1791, but all that remains today are the extensive landscape gardens and grounds. In 1955, the family had to pay 2 sets of death duties. The estate and Georgian mansion became too expensive to maintain, and so it was sold and demolished. Apley Woods are now owned and managed by Telford and Wrekin Council. These set of steps look like they were part of something. I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to be. Looks like some kind of alien. If you know what it's supposed to be, leave me a comment. This is the avenue of the yews. Let's as you can see. Just in some woods just by Ligommery. I feel like I've walked through here before, so I'm not sure if it's part of the Ironbridge Way that I've done. It looks a bit familiar. So this is Ligommery Pool. So I have walked along here before. This is part of the Ironbridge Way. So quiet. Where it was. So I'm just leaving Ligommery Pool now. Got a little bit confusing around there. I lost my pink signs. Pretty sure that is the same road I crossed earlier on, possibly. But we're now heading towards Wellington, back to the start. So we're just coming down College Lane. Into Wellington, and I don't know if you can see just in the distance there, you can see the Wrekin and the Arkle. So I'm just on part of Constitution Hill, coming into Wrekin, and anyone who's done driving lessons around here, and I've just seen about 3 learner drivers, this is where they bring you to do your hill starts and your reverse parking and that. So I'm just crossing the rail line now, and I'll be coming by Wellington station, and this is where this section of section 4 ends. So section 4A ends here, so probably about 4.5 miles, and then I shall do 4B over to Horsehay and then back home. Right, so I'm now on section 4B. It's going to take me back home, and this building here to my right is the old Chad Valley toy factory. Wellington has a real variation of housing styles. You've got probably 1930s houses over there, and then you have these big Victorian villas. I've seen like terrace houses which look probably Victorian as well, and then there's Edwardian. I'm not sure, they could be Edwardian. But yeah, there's a real variation. So I'm just coming up Lime Kiln Lane now. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go under the M54. That's the M54. Going away from me is going towards Shrewsbury and coming towards me towards Wellington and Telford. So we're just in the vicinity of Steeraway, which is a small village, just before I go uphill here. So today Steeraway is a farm, but there is an industrial pass hereabouts. A tramway linking Steeraway to Watling Street was known to exist in the late 1730s, when limestone extraction was stimulated by local iron making. In the 1800s there was at least one deep shaft, as we know. A 45-foot seam was being worked in 1842. However, fluxing limestone was probably exhausted by the mid-19th century. In 1882, when mining resumed at Steeraway, there were several shafts, levels and kilns. In 1900 mining ceased and the kilns closed circa 1918. There was a major strike and riot here involving miners and minors in 1831. So we're going to be going up this path up here. So the uphill sections have started now, and we're going to be heading towards Lime Kiln Wood. So the woods that I've just come through were Lime Kiln Wood, and they have a long history of 18th century and 19th century mining and quarrying. The only obvious feature that you can see today is a deep hollow to the left of the trail where you can look down into the top of a ruined lime kiln. I didn't see it, I missed that. The limestone was heated to a high temperature using charcoal originally and later coal to produce quicklime for mortar, lime for improving soil fertility, and later a flux for smelting iron in Coalbrookdale's furnaces. Round here is one of those places where you know it's old, but you can sense the history when you're walking through, if that makes sense. Like it's been unchanged. Like if someone from the 18th century were to walk through those woods and through here, it wouldn't seem much different to them. Sorry for the footage overload, but it's lovely out here, really nice. I don't think I've been here before. I'm not 100%, but I think the woods that I'm going over to now are called Shortwood. Now coming on to Huntington Lane, and this board says the site lies within the Coalbrookdale coalfield with coal seams found close to the surface, i.e. 1 metre beneath the rock. As a result of this, coal has been mined from this area since the medieval period. This would initially have been within shallow bell pits and later with deeper mine shafts and adits. Surface mines were dug in the area from the 1940s, therefore the Huntington Lane surface mine formed the final chapter of a long history of coal mining within the area. That's what a bell pit used to look like. And now it's all lovely woods and nice areas for wildlife. You can still see dips in the ground, presumably where the mines were. Right, so this is birch coppice that I'm walking through now, and I have got a bit lost in here. I don't know if you can see on my thing, my red squiggly line. It was a tad confusing, so I had to look on my OS app and try and follow the route. But yeah, could do with a few more pink markers in here, I think. There didn't seem to be any, so I'm hoping this is going to bring me out by New Works if I'm still going the right way. Right, I've just come up Huntington Lane there, and you can see the Wrekin over in the distance. And I found a T50 trail marker, so I'm obviously in the right place. Boom. And I'm heading up towards New Works, but my map on my watch and on my phone is saying I'm way off course. I'm obviously not. But I do still think I need some more pink markers in those woods. I'm just leaving New Works village now. I'm turning down here, which I've walked a few times before. So from here you've got some pretty good views across Telford. So this gravel path that I'm walking on now is called the Trundle, and it was conceived as an all-ability track that would run from Lawley all the way to the Wrekin, but they only did the section from Lawley to New Works and then stopped, which is a shame. So I'm just coming into Lawley village now and the busy Dawley road. To my left is Lawley church, which if there's a bench I'm going to stop and have a cup of coffee. Right, so we're just at St John's Church in Lawley. I doubt it's open. Let's see if there's a bench to sit down and have a cup of coffee. Had a nice little coffee stop and something to eat on this bench. As you can see, I've left no trace. The leaves were all there before. All my rubbish is coming home with me. All my wrappers and my empty plastic bottles are all in my rucksack, ready to take home. Right, so now we're heading towards... Where are we heading towards? Spring Village and Horsehay from here. So it's a lovely church, not open I'm afraid. So that's Lawley village over there. There we go, so just crossing the road and you can see Lawley village, Lawley Common in the distance, and the big white building is the, I think it's the Mormon church. So I'm just walking around the boundary of Horsehay Golf Club at the moment, hoping nobody's playing, because I don't want to get struck by a flying ball. Be turning onto a gravel path somewhere soon, hopefully, that will take me across the course. But this section along here, pink markers again have been lacking. I mean, there's a path going up there. Is that where I need to go? Or is it this one through here? Let's have a look. Right, well I'm well and truly confused now. Again, a lack of T50 trail markers. So I've cut across the teeing off point like it's told me to. I've already been up and round here and I can't seem to see where I'm supposed to go. It says cross in front of the tee off, be mindful of golfers and turn right onto the gravel path, passing a bench on your left. Well, there is a tiny little gravel path, but there's no bench. So I'm going to go back down to this drive that was down here, because I haven't got a clue where I'm supposed to be going. Let's see if there's a marker. So down that road there is where I should have come out by the golf course, but back on track now. So this is Horsehay Common. It's very nice too, but I really don't know where I was supposed to go at the golf club. So we're now coming into Spring Village, which is lovely. It's got a lovely little lake in the middle. So we'll go down to the lake and I'll give you a bit of history of Spring Village. So this is Horsehay Pool that I'm looking at now. So in front of me we've got Horsehay, and then behind is Spring Village, but we'll go past the houses of Spring Village. Okay, so Spring Village Horsehay is a conservation area with an industrial past. It includes the philanthropic Old Row and New Row cottages built by the Derby family in the 1750s and 1830s respectively. These were dwellings for the principal workmen in the Coalbrookdale Company Works, iron furnaces and foundries. And Horsehay Pool was the old furnace pool. So here we are at the Telford Steam Railway, Horsehay. So this is the end of stage 4B. So each of these sections, 4A and 4B, are supposed to be about 4.6 miles each, but I've probably done more than that. So this is where the T50 trail ends for me today. But now I'm heading home. So I'm just coming down Pool Hill Road. Makes a change to be coming down it, I'm usually going up it. And this is a road I only discovered during lockdown. I'd never been up here before. More houses going in. There we go, so I'm just looking down on part of Doseley now, and you can see the Wrekin in the distance. So I've come from near there. I'm just walking along this path now. So I think this is the Captain Webb School to my left. So I'm just coming off down Southall Road. Again, it's a nice change to be coming downhill. And then I'm going to go down through the end here, and it'll bring me out by Dorley Pools, and then I won't have too far to get home then. Right, so I'm just crossing the old power station railway line. Nearly home now. Right, so my thoughts on stage 4. So the circular that went from Wellington town centre was really interesting. Enjoyed that. Some lovely nature reserves and things to see. That was all fine, yeah, no problem. The section coming from Wellington to Horsehay was okay. There's some bits I'd walked before, so I knew, but there was a couple of places where I don't know, I either missed markers or I don't know. So the section coming from through Birch Coppice or Shortwood, whatever it was called, that was very confusing. Lots of paths going off all in different directions, so some more markers there would be helpful. And then the golf course at Horsehay, that was just, I don't know where I was supposed to go there, and it's not as if you can go traipsing across the golf course. So yeah, a definite marker there to tell you where you're supposed to go. I mean, I was at the tee off point and I couldn't see any markers where I was supposed to go. It was very confusing. So I managed to get onto the trail eventually, but it could be a bit clearer. But all in all, it's been good. I'm knackered now. It's been a long day. I'm sure I've done more than the miles I was supposed to. So I'm on Rough Parkway now, up there to go home. And yeah, so I shall put on how many miles I've done in total, but stage 5 will have to wait a while. But the usual, stay safe, look after yourselves, and enjoy the rest of September, nearly in October.